In Earth Wars, there isn't a Tfue base layout that is 100% impervious. There is always going to be a weakness or vulnerability in any base layout. The longevity of your base depends on several factors. However, even accounting for these factors in your layout, you are still going to have some form of a weakness in your base. It may be more difficult to defeat, but it is defeatable. Hello my Earth Wars friends, I'm your host CF, and this is part 3 of the CFTactics base building guide. In this part, we're going to address fortifying and managing your base. If you haven't already, please review part 1, understanding your base, part 2, walls and building placement, both linked in the description. Patience is a virtue and a fortification. Yes, everyone wants a powerful base, but it takes work and patience to get there. Patience itself is a fortification to your base. Preventing a mix of varying level buildings in your base is a strong, good step. It will be mind-numbing at times, especially in the HQ 12 to 14 range, and will feel like it stands still. Be patient, don't rush your base. Rushed bases, as mentioned, those bases with varied levels of buildings, won't and don't hold up. Most of the old-timers or high-level players love these bases because generally they have high resources and low defenses, which gives them an easy-to-defeat base with little or no work to be done on their part. Just because you're in a low to medium level base doesn't mean that you can't have a good defense on your level. Don't rush your base. Take your time, do your battles and resources, and get those buildings up to its maximum level for your current headquarters level. Remember that walls do upgrade instantly, no wait for walls, but do keep in mind that many players will recommend leaving your walls 1 to 2 levels behind your current HQ level. You can follow that recommendation or max them out, but do remember that walls do have a value to your overall base stats and may change your battle zone. Get inspired. Get inspiration from other bases. Look at bases in the single-player PvP battles that give you lots of trouble, or assess the bases of rival players for good defenses and then apply those. Use the screenshot function on your device to save a record of good bases you come across. How you'd attack these bases. Can a gunner take out all of your defenses from a safe distance? Can an airbot wreck your mortars without any trouble? Can this area be rushed? Use the base trials often. Don't forget the stasis mines. Don't forget about those stasis mines either. They are easy to forget because of their size. Apply power cores to enhance their abilities. They're small, they're easily forgettable, but they can help you change the tide of war. A quick note on the stasis mines. Applying a power core to them does disable their default stunning ability. So if you want to keep that ability, don't apply a power core. Save your base layouts. Don't fret about forgetting the previous revision of your base layout. Use the layout save. If you're making a new layout or just making minor tweaks, don't forget to save. You can then switch between layouts that you like or that have performed well and make little adjustments to them. Headquarters at the back. I know we addressed this in previous parts, however, this can't be addressed enough. If you want to get the best defenses possible for your base, you'll have a very hard time doing it if your key building is located near the front. Indeed, it would be foolhardily for you to set your HQ up front because that would make it very vulnerable to enemy attacks. When someone destroys your headquarters, your game is essentially over. You don't want it to be fair game for your opponents, especially those who use gunner or special class bots. Place your headquarters out in the back, and that means that enemies will have to go through several lines of defense, which should allow you enough time to get your guns and other weapons ready to stave off the opposing robots. Avoid clustering your defenses. It's good practice to place your defense buildings close to one another, so that way they can hit multiple targets at any time, with their trajectories of their fire overlapping each other. Essentially, multiple weapons hitting multiple bots. Tapping on the building so you can see where its range is can also help you properly position those weapons for the best possible results. However, you should take care to place your defensive buildings not too close to one another. Having clusters makes them easier targets for your enemy, especially with bots with an area of effect and they attack your base. The key here is finding the right balance. Keep your weapons close enough so that their arcs overlap, but keep them well separated to avoid the chance of that area of effect attack taking them out in one go. Don't forget some combiners with slamming or rushing capabilities, or like God Neptune and Ruination with their God Sting that they can just have a big area of effect, can cause traumatic damage and or annihilation to the defenses that are clustered together in your base. As noted in previous parts, the higher level your base is, the less base building area you have. So when clustering becomes a normal part of your base layout, consider adapting the layout to open up that real estate for less clustering. As you grow in the game and get to higher levels in your base and open up more and more buildings, clustering kind of becomes seemingly more normal. This is where defensive clusters come into play. Some of these are shield gen clusters that have extended shields over nearby buildings to the shield generator. There are also missile and shock tower clusters and outpost clusters. These clusters are designed to be better fortified in terms of defense and designed to slow down your opposing teams. Who mans the outposts? Outpost bots have become a huge arguing point for most of the community. Who's ideal for an outpost is subjective. However, there are some class-specific applications for outposts. Warriors and several specials are ideal, class-wise. However, there are some air class bots that can offer good protection as well. Having these outposts manned with bots that can assist in slowing down an opposing team definitely help. You also want to note the outpost level. The level of the outpost also denotes the damage level that the bot has to offer. This is a percentage. Try to man the outposts with bots that have high DPS and relatively good health. Bots that can offer multiple attacks or distractions, think like minions in combats, can also offer additional help to outposts. Don't depend entirely on your outposts to completely protect your base. Combiners and Titans, if equipped, can attack the outpost bots as well. One class of bots to avoid in outposts are healers, obviously. Healers' damage is usually low, as is their health. Also, visiting a base either through war scouting or clicking on a user's base in the various game chats, you can see their outpost bots, mostly within a small radius of the outpost for which they're being assigned. Combiner Outpost. The Combiner Outpost, or Combiner Beacon as it's called in game, can also be a determining factor in how well your base performs on defense. You want to avoid it being bypassed altogether, so placement of the Combiner Outpost is crucial. Selecting the Combiner that is in the outpost can also make a difference on the results of battle. Believe it or not, Combiners do have specific purposes, defense versus offense, and placing the right Combiner in the right outpost also makes a world of difference. At the time of this recording, Computron and Leokaiser, Skyrain and Galvatronus, and Magnaboss and Tripredicus are the top defensive Combiners. Unlike bot outposts, you cannot preview who is in the Combiner outpost. Fortifying for Titans. Sadly, if you're below HQ 16, 17, or 18, fortifying your base for Titans is almost a moot point. You'll need to get a Titan to fortify your base against one, as the Titans will battle each other, thus protecting your base from Titan attacks until a Titan victor is made. Note: If you're below HQ 16, 17, or 18 and are getting attacked by Titans, chances are the attacker is going out for Titan XP. Titan XP is only gained from bringing in the Titan into a PvP battle. Watch your defensive replays. In order to see some of the strategies to use against you and find the weaknesses in your base, watch your defensive replays. Normally, if you've been attacked, the replay will automatically load when entering the game. Analyze these replays. You may see something you can improve. Note: replays are dramatizations. They're not entirely accurate replays of the events that occurred on your base attack. Understanding this, keep this caveat in mind. You will still find areas of improvement. Don't concentrate on just defeats. Yes, they'll be disheartening to watch, but you'll see gaps in coverage or enemy strategies that you may not have considered. Also, watch the victories. You'll see additional ways that the weakened areas of your base could be further fortified. You may see a gap in weapons coverage, or you may see that you might want to move a building's position off a better place to inflict more damage. Use the base trials. Base trials are a great tool. Of course, you're going to know where to defeat your base because you laid it out. So use that to test the weak points on your base that you see and make improvements accordingly. Base trials can be a great tool in fortifying and managing and updating your base. There you go, my Air Force friends. Base Building Guide Part 3, Fortifying and Managing Your Base. If you've liked this or any of my other videos, please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps. I've been your host, CF, and this has been Base Building Guide Part 3. Keep up the heroic nonsense, my friends.